Welcome to the High Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Cupins. I hope you have a clean piece and a bowl packed ready for today's sesh that was recorded live on my Twitch stream. Don't forget to check out our partners, MJ Arsenal, makers of some excellent mini dab rigs and more. And check out Soft Glass. Their modular silicone glass hybrid pieces are easy to clean and hard to break. Also, check out Grinders for Life. Their Brilliant Cut grinder has 3 different grind plate options, so you can get the exact grind you're looking for. You can save 15% off with code CUPINS at mjarsenal.com, soft.glass, and grindersforlife.com. Enjoy the sesh. Man, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty good. Thanks for having me. How's it going on your end?
Hey, no worries. It's going good. You know, I don't know if if you noticed, but I'm a little bit high. We're probably gonna get higher later, but I started off. We started off with it. We've been doing
Sounds like a good plan.
That's the plan. High chat recorded live while high. Like I don't know. You don't have to be high either as the chat. I'm gonna be though. Like nobody has to be high but me. I think like that's the best part.
Heck yeah, no expectations and nothing but winning. All the way around.
Yeah, there you go.
Gotta
What's up? What you pick up anything recently? You got any new flower concentrate you wanna mention?
So I just ground up the rest of this Alien Temple Kush over here. Kind of interesting.
Aliens have temples.
Apparently, and they grow hella Kush.
Nice. Oh, that's from somewhere in Denver?
Yeah, it's from a dispensary down here in Denver, a recreational one. I find that the flower in the recreational market here is way better than the medical market. It's actually
that's a turnaround.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a fresher product. It's way more, has way more moisture and everything like that. So it makes a huge difference.
No, that's a good way to do it. You got to shop around. Do you go to a lot of different places? Because there's a lot. In Denver.
Yeah, there is more places here as far as to buy weed than there are coffee, shops. So it's absolutely insane. When I first moved here, I was going all around and. Some places they sold me hemp as THC, and then other places actually had the fire, but they charged out the ass for it. So.
Oh, no, dang.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But recently I've kind of found a few places that I really, really enjoy and kind of been going back over there, repeatedly and kind of become a regular at a few places that I really like.
Yeah, if you go to a bunch of stores, you're like, it's all about the same. Some places are definitely better, but there's some stuff that's just so bad you just know to avoid that spot. Never go there.
Right.
Oh, God.
Dude, and I've had some nightmare experiences out here where it's just like, holy crap, you guys are calling yourself a marijuana business, and they're not selling anything worthwhile.
You walk out of any places? You do it often?
I've walked out, I think, a handful of times at this point where I'm like, no, man, I'm good, honestly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's been a product issue, and sometimes it's been a personality issue where the bud tender gets like really aggressive for some reason and like tries to push something that I'm not trying to get. And then they're like, no, you really want this. It's like, no, I really don't.
Trust me, we have a competition with the other bud tenders. Whoever sells the most of this wins a pizza party. I'm trying to get the pizza party.
Right, exactly. And it's like, yo, I don't care about your pizza party, dude. And they're like, well, you're gonna care because I'm gonna make your life painful otherwise. And so in that moment, you gotta say, hey, I'm cool to walk away, but at the same time, it's like I just drove out here, spent the time to wait to go in and then do all this stuff, showed them my ID. You've invested some time and they know that. And so a lot of people will actually use that against you. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, well, you're here, so it's crazy. I hate that. I've definitely walked out of a few spots in Colorado. There's so many options. There's so many places. Like, for sure, there's some bad ones. Like, that's how it is with food and restaurants too. And some people eat at those places every day. So it's like, if you make it easy to do, like, there's going to be some bad ones. Like,
absolutely,
the business.
100%.
So
there's got to be a. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm getting into the business, but like it's pretty easy in some states to get in certain states like Florida, I think Michigan or whatever. It's like super expensive to get licenses and they limit it, so it's not quite the same in Colorado.
No, and in Florida especially is super limited because of the laws that they had to pass down there. I believe you had to have an agricultural license for over 10 years. In order to even, have the potential to sell, which is, nobody who was actually in the business to begin with. So everybody subcontracts their license under a major grower down there. It's pretty insane to think about.
Yeah. And have you worked at multiple places, or have you done some different types of stuff? Like what kind of things have you done?
So as far as in the weed industry, I worked at one place up here in Colorado. But they are in multiple states. So they were, doing expansions in, Michigan and Florida. And so I kind of got to get a little bit of insight as far as what was going on at those places. And in turn, kind of found out about the market. But as far as what I was doing, I was just trimming for dry and wet harvest. So for concentrate and for, final product, just packaged bud.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was really, really interesting because those are two very different positions, but at the same time are pretty much integral to anybody who's actually producing a good amount of cannabis.
Yeah.
And one's way more profitable than the other. The packaged, eighths or quarters, those things fly off the shelf in comparison to concentrates because most of the user base, even here in Colorado, still is extremely basic. They want a very specific product.
Yeah.
And that product oftentimes is bud.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And that's one of the things that's very interesting too, because like a lot of the flower that gets made into concentrates, it doesn't need to be the best of the best or look that good or have the best trim job. So sometimes it's the stuff where you're like, I wouldn't buy this as weed. So did you see a lot of that?
Yeah. I saw some things that I would never smoke. I would never give to anybody. I wouldn't give it to you. I wouldn't give it to anybody in chat, completely covered in mold to the point where smelling it made you kind of nauseous. And that stuff actually got moved onto the public market under a subcontract name. So it's kind of cringe when you ask me, but there's a lot of people doing that. And I found out that a lot of people are doing that, especially in the medical market here in Denver, because it's such a smaller, more insular, I guess, market here where they're not able to pull as much volume. And because of that, they sell it for cheaper. But in turn, people end up buying more garbage because it's cheaper, and then they kind of know better, but they kind of don't because they're still profit in it somewhat. So it's kind of weird.
Oh man, did you have to do anything to like treat mold? Was that part of any of what you had to do? Because I know there's different ways to treat it before they send it off for testing.
Yeah, so the way that we were basically dealing with the mold remediation is what we would call it. Is yeah, it was essentially for the stuff that they already knew that was really bad. They basically had us trim it like we would normal bud, even though it was completely covered in mold. And it was absolutely foul, dude. I couldn't believe it, It was like my first month there.
Yeah, no, I'm allergic to mold. Like what? No, give me No, me and mold aren't supposed to be in the same. What are we doing? Like, that's terrible.
Right. Yeah, no, and I mean, it's actually quite insane to think about because, again, this is a major cannabis producer across multiple states, and they're willing to basically compromise quality in order to get the bag, but it ends up affecting their overall, reviews in the market, because you can go talk to people who run dispensaries around here and be like, hey, you know about these guys? Oh, yeah, they sell moldy bud all the time. And it's kind of like known at this point if you know what you're talking about and you know what you're getting.
Oh, man. Bag over everything. Like, they know what's up. Oh, dang. No, that's terrible because, like, you're trimming the moldy. Like, normally there's ways to treat it. Like, they have a dunk. There's like a 3 dunk system that some people use where you use like 3 different liquids. You fully submerge the plants in that. But, like, you don't fully trim it and then do the dunking. You keep it all on the plant, like, or ozone machines, I think they use to, like, kill the mold. There's a few different ways to do it. But, like, well, they made you trim moldy bud. I quit that day. Like, no, that's
it wasn't just me. It was a room full of 20 some people. So I mean, there was a lot of people there, and a lot of people put on their masks and were like really like super masked up, and you could tell that people are upset about it. And me being fresh, I was like, is this something that normally happens? And they kind of dismissed it, and they also were saying, oh, we already ran this bud through an automatic trimmer, knocking off most of the mold and all the other stuff that was already on it. So we saw a partially processed product. And so, for them to move it.
Let the machines do it.
Was insane. Right. But the product that came out of the machine was not even sellable. The way that the bud was compacted, it really came down to how it was grown. And because of that, the bud density was too high. And so the moisture content in the middle basically rotted it from the inside out. And it was completely messed up. I mean, for them to even try to sell that is insane. And they actually got in trouble with the weed authorities here selling it on the market, so even though they didn't sell it under their main name.
Yeah. Nah, if you processed it, like, and that's messing up all the machines to trim it to, you're getting those all moldy. Like, that you don't just wipe that off and it goes away. Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
20 people trimming mold. I'm like, hey, everybody want to just be like, let's not do this? Like, I'm saying some stuff like, let's see, testing the waters, feeling the room. Like, look, guys, so they're not going to throw us a pizza party. Let's just not trim it. Like,
100%, and everybody in there was actually pretty disgruntled and like actively being like, this sucks. We don't want to be doing this. Yeah. And, they were asking on the questions, is the next batch moldy? Are we expected to do more of this? So those questions were flying around while we were doing it. So there was a lot of people recognizing what we were doing while we were doing it, saying things. And then they were just like, hey, what's best for the business? That's what we have to focus on here.
And that was obviously stuff for concentrate. They're not trying to bag that up. Like
that was they were selling it for regular flour, not even concentrate. I mean, they might have been selling it on the bulk market as stuff that people could press, but whoever bought it would have looked at it and smelled it immediately and recognized, this is not going to make anything that I can sell.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. It was amazing to see, and that's just the tip of the iceberg here. I've got plenty more stories where that came from, and I was only in the industry for about 4.5 months. So I kind of got
a lot of shit in 4.5 months.
I saw enough to say, you know what, I'm out of here. Thanks. It's like a good experience.
People that work at Taco Bell are like, bro, don't ever eat there. I used to work at Taco Bell. It's so nasty. It's like, maybe don't work in the weed industry if you like smoking weed. Like, you might be like, they do what with my weed? Like, no, I learned too much. Like, I know too many things. It's really wild.
Right. Honestly, I would say, the connections are the best thing. You get to meet a lot of people who are actually passionate about bud and doing it on their own and under their own licenses and everything like that. So there is a lot of potential as far as networking that you can get. But as far as like the corporate version of weed, I've really got a different view of like what it is and how it works here in Colorado and other states. And let me tell you, they're not looking out for the end users.
Bag over everything. Look, bag is life. Nah, it really is. Like, there's so many businesses. You gotta keep pushing product out. If you don't have flour to sell, you don't have flour to sell. Like, there is a third party bulk market or whatever. You could buy flour from other places and sell it, but like, you're not making that much money off of the flour, and you got to do a lot of work on it in some cases. So that's wild. It's hard to lose a harvest. It's hard to say goodbye to your plants at the large scale of a giant corporate business that's trying to supply thousands and thousands of people with flour and concentrate. That's crazy.
Absolutely. And, when you talk about losing millions of dollars in regards to a harvest, and versus processing that or basically throwing it in the trash and doing the right thing, a lot of these businesses can't stand to take that hit. They literally cannot do it. And so they will take, compromised harvests and put them out on the market because they literally feel like they can't do anything else.
Yeah. And in some cases, like if it has seeds or something, like they'll sell you like half price, but like mold, it's like legally, like you can't, what are you doing? Don't try to push this out. That's crazy.
Right. And, with mold, it's so complicated because there's so many different types, right? You got stuff that you can get from the building itself, wherever you're growing it. You got stuff that you get from the bud itself. If your grow isn't right, your nutrients aren't right. I can't tell you how many harvests I've seen where the outside looks great. You crack into the actual nug and boom, it looks like a spider web in there and it's discolored and all kinds of stuff. I know it's kind of gross to think about, but at the same time, it's like, they say, hey, pull out the miscolored stuff and get the good colored stuff and collect it there, and we'll throw the cobwebs away. Yeah, exactly.
No, what you're describing, my literal first ever grow in Colorado. I got the plant halfway grown. I bought it from somebody at a yard sale. It was sitting on his front yard. Like I took it home and was growing it. It got 6 feet tall, maybe over. I had like a Nerf football size cola on the top. It was big. I didn't know any better at the time. I'm looking at it every day like, I'm about to have the dankest weed ever. There's a big old fat cola at the top. It's about to be a ton of weed. I mean, the rest of the plant kind of looks like shit, but that one fat cola at the top. I start trimming this fucking Nerf football. It mold city, bro. It was spider web. It was webbed out. It was molded out on the inside. It looked like...
Oh, my God.
It looked like the saddest thing ever for me at the time. Like...
I can't imagine your disappointment.
I didn't even try to work around any of it. I was like, you fucked up. Start over.
See, and that's the right way to do it, but that just breaks your heart though. It's like you just spend all this money and time growing this thing and you just got to throw it in the trash. It's like, it feels counterintuitive.
That disappointed. I had like 100 weed stores I could shop at in a 20-mile radius. So it's like, I got options, but like, so stoked on this, bro. This is about to be mine. This is about to be my whatever it was. I don't remember.
Right, like Cupin's OG Kush, right?
There you go. Cupe Kush. When the nugs are too big, chat, run. I don't know. Like it's too big.
There's a limit to nug sizes for sure, especially when you get to the top of your top of the plant. That's when it gets insane.
I used to always look for the bigger. Oh, bro, these are big. Let me find larger. And then now I'm like, the bigger, the more sus it is. I'm like, what's going on inside of there? Like, what do you got? It's too large. Like, I don't need, like, if I showed up at the grocery store and those little cuties oranges were like this big one day, I'd have questions. Like, there's no way it's as good when it's that big, bro. They stretch the flavor out. Like.
100%. You know, it's like those McAllister spuds. If you've ever had those, they're giant. How do they get the potatoes that big? I have no idea.
McAllister's, how big is it?
It's huge. It's like, you know, this big.
I saw you hold your hands up, but like it was your hands were cut off on both sides of the street. So I'm like, this thing is massive. Like I don't.
Those things are huge. They say they get them straight from Idaho. I don't know what they're injecting in those potatoes, but they are massive.
Dang, Idaho. Idaho and potatoes. Like, I remember when I was young, somebody was trying to hit me with this gotcha, like, which state has the best potatoes? And you're supposed to say Idaho. So they can be like, what's that? You're a hoe? You the hoe? And but for the life of me, who knows that Idaho has the best potatoes as a kid? Like, I don't. Bro, I just heard of Idaho 4 weeks ago. Like, I don't think it's real.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I remember pretty young that they were about potatoes, but I don't know if, like, you know, the first time I've ever heard about Idaho, it was just about potatoes. That'd be a little wild.
Yeah, it would be wild. So how are you getting high tonight? I'm gonna pack a bowl here.
Yeah, so I've got a few things. I recently lost a 3D XL chamber, so I'm back on the regular chamber. So I got the Puffco, and for tonight, I believe I'm rocking some Pine Sol live rosin batter. I've just got a little bit of that left, but it's not too bad. And that's from Allgreens here in Denver. It's a medical dispensary, one of my absolute favorites. If you guys are in Denver and you have a medical card, definitely check out Allgreens. You know, it's fire.
I'm so happy to hear that, because like I've only been to so many spots in Denver. I lived in Colorado Springs, but Allgreens was one of the places, and it's just super hyped. I think I went there when Dab Logic was making some concentrates for him, and
oh, heck yeah.
I got a bunch of stuff. Like, I heard about it from like somebody I knew who didn't live there, but he followed Dab Logic on Instagram, was like, you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out. So like, I went up there, and it was like maybe 2016 or 2015. I don't even remember, around there. But it was expensive. Some of the most expensive dabs I ever bought. It was like $88 a gram, full melt, 6-star. Like,
that
was
stuff
crazy
is
good.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And, you know, just so you know, Dab Logic's still one of the best rosin producers here in the Denver area. They still have a very, like, small grow process, and they kept a lot of the people that they've had for the past 10 years still working there. And because of that, the quality is just absolutely insane in comparison to everything else out here. But the price also reflects that.
That is that premium stuff. Like, that's the Redditors will let you know. No, this is the one. Like, you look anywhere, that's what they talk about.
100%. That stuff is wild. But, you know, you get what you pay for with a lot of this stuff out here, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. And so if you're buying cheap stuff like your cheap budget shatter, you know, you're really getting the bottom of the barrel. But you're going to be paying $8 a gram. So for some people, that's completely fine.
$8 a gram. I've bought many a concentrate, 7, 8, 9, 10 in that price range per gram. And you know what? You get what you pay for.
That's the truth. Fire in, fire out, right? Especially when you're talking about pressing and not doing any type of process.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Is that a tag zone with the red?
It is.
It is clean.
It's so nice, and the Esco glass downstem. You know, you got to be rocking that with the red little wigwams. It's pretty sick.
I like it.
I recently broke another downstem, so I gotta hit up Esco or somebody else in order to get another one.
Yeah, that's one of those things, like, you're gonna break that eventually, like, but you know, beakers are still life, you know.
100%. You know, you can't beat a beaker.
Yeah.
But here, let me rip this one if you're
let her rip.
Cheers.
Yeah, 420s in the chat. Who's ripping with Ooze?
Yeah, anybody ripping? Let's go.
I might know a guy that likes to rip, but sometimes it's a podcast, I gotta soothe the later listeners with my voice, whether they're following on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. Check us out. Check us out live on Twitch if you're listening to the podcast somewhere else right now. And you know what? Don't forget to leave a review if you're on Apple or Spotify. 5 stars sounds crazy, right? Nah, you could do it. Look, I'm over here. He's some nice rips. He's got the ceramic ball vape there. Is that what that was?
Yeah, it is. It's the Seroma.
The Seroma.
By Coroma Shop. We have one of the first ball vape stores here in Denver, literally dedicated for ball vapes. Yeah, ritual-co.com. They're out here whipping them ball vapes and vapor devices. So it's actually really, really cool to see them operate not only online but in a retail store.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with that. That's pretty cool. I've talked to head shop owners. I've asked them about ball vapes. I don't know what they are. There's a nice shop down here. I was trying to show the owner a video of a ball vape. I'm like, bro, you got to sell these. They were selling Puffcos and Heady Glass, and it's like, if you're really trying to hit the for real people, you got to get these. So I don't know. But I talked to head shop owners. Some of them are pretty cold. They don't like to hear suggestions. They're like, "No, I know my business. Trust me. I've had this one location for 17 years and never expanded."
100%. And some of those places are the best places to go through and get some solid glass. But you're not going to change the old heady ways. They're like, "Oh yeah, I know better. I know how to smoke." That reminds me, Elevate Glass, they're based in Colorado Springs, and I have the Buddha vape from them. I bought that back in I think 2008 or 2009, and it's still going to this day.
Yeah.
And they make the Silver Surfer vape as well, and they recently put out a ball vape mod for that. And I went down to Colorado Springs to try it out. Or just to go check it out. And they actually packed me up a bowl and basically lit it up. And I got to smoke it. And it was super interesting. It's not as great as, these ones that kind of go on top of it. But it hits pretty solidly for something that is being retrofitted to, have balls in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have I know somebody who works with Elevate. They said they were going to send me one, but maybe got lost in the mail. Look, if you're listening, I'll still use it. I think I got my Silver Surfer somewhere. I don't know where it is, actually. I think I got it, though. I'm pretty sure I do. But I got the old one, the one without the fan. Do you have a Silver Surfer, or you just tried theirs?
So I just tried theirs, but the Buddha vape is like the cheap version of the Silver Surfer. So it's like the old one, but it's just in a straight up orientation, and the hole is very small. It can only fit the wand in there essentially.
Yeah. And you went to Elevate. Did you go to the one downtown, the gallery, or the glass blowing spot?
I went to the gallery down in downtown, which was nice. Super cool. Yeah. I mean, there was some pieces in there that were $25,000.
Yeah.
Just things that were
that one incredible. Case, right? When you walk in on the right, is that the one?
Well, yeah, they had those. And then they had these other ones. I can't remember the glass artist, but essentially they somehow dig tunnels into the glass, and it's like little ant tunnels. But that's where the smoke travels through. And so when you hit it, you watch these patterns of smoke essentially unfold inside of the glass as it's going. It's mind-blowing to even imagine. And I think the cheapest one that he had in there and it was super small, was like $12,000. But it blew my mind. I was like, holy moly, that's some next level glass right there.
Yeah. That downtown store is like the owner's collection there too. Like he's like,
right.
That's what I heard. He's like, he didn't keep anything at his house. It's at the store. Like, you can see it.
And it definitely shows, because there's some things in there that you're just like, holy crap, it's just insane. Yeah, that first case when you walk in to the right, that's where all the headiest of the heady is.
Yeah,
those
there's like
things,
a lot of artist variety in there.
Right. And then those like super art bongs, where it's just like, that's to look at more than it is to smoke. It's
when
functional.
It takes you 10 or 12 seconds to figure out, like, okay, where does the weed go? All right, where do I put my mouth? You can't afford it when you're doing that. Like, all right, wait, okay, hang on. It looks exactly like a giraffe, but where do I put my mouth on the giraffe mouth to hit it. Shit. Like, those are the crazy ones. Like, I don't know how rich I'd have to be to want to have that kind of glass. Like, you got to have like an oil rig in your backyard or something. Like, how else do you do it? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of these dudes who are in this type of lifestyle, they kind of become like a part of the heady boys, or the heady people, I should say. And, really get into just buying things that are absolutely insanely priced, but they're pieces of art within themselves. So you can't necessarily be like, yeah, what are you spending all that money on? But at the same time, what are you spending all that money on?
Yeah, a lot of this stuff too. I've learned from talking to people. A lot of the really heady pieces, like they're not swapping cash. Like, you're getting pounds and pounds of weed or something, like. Or you're getting a big old jar of the best dabs you've ever seen. And like, I'll trade you for that crazy thing. Like, it's usually a trade like that where it's like, all right, no, I get it. Because what else can you do? Some of those have insane price tags. But, some people they're spending money. I don't know if it's for me. Like, I have a few things that are not even that expensive, but I'm still like, okay, all right, make sure okay, be careful, don't do this. Like, it's a very cautious thing for me, even when the piece is only like a few $100s. Like, it's kind of wild. I'm out here recommending durable stuff. Like, I'm like, get this because it's durable, you won't break it. Like,
right. Because that's what's gonna happen. I was just thinking, I'm cleaning my the bong before the podcasts and everything, and I'm like, this is the most risky moment for my glass right now. I have it all disassembled. It's all on a countertop in the sink or next to the sink. I'm shaking it violently and doing all this stuff while it's still wet. I mean, the chances of slippage and any type of droppage is insane in comparison to normal use. And if you want to keep your stuff clean, you got to do that daily. So you kind of have to get something that alleviates that slip, risk percentage, right? Kind of average it out across the board so that you don't really have to worry about, losing a piece or two here and there.
Yeah. No, I think one of the benefits to cleaning your piece every day is you're practicing and you're being cautious. It's a quicker process when it's done every day. So you're getting better at it and you're less likely to just fumble it. Because, if you wait months to clean it, you yoink on that down stem, it snaps before you can even get it halfway out, or you're not used to the weight when you shake it because you haven't done it in months or ever. It's your first time and you slam your fucking bong into the sink. Like, clean it every day. It's a quick, like, bada boom, I'm in and I'm out. Like, when you make 100%. It a whole chore, that's when you break your shit. When it's dirty and you gotta keep shit. I can't get this fucking nasty spot off. Like, why is it that big? Why is there a spot that big on your bong? Like, how long has it been like that? So that's one of the benefits of cleaning. Look, I'm trying to help.
And you're absolutely right. But, I'm guilty of leaving a bong, full of water sitting for 2 or 3 days and not cleaning it and then dumping it out. And then I'll just be like, oh, I'll clean it later. And then I'll pick it up and I want to smoke it. And you're like, oh, no, what is this mess? And then you go to shake it and it's like not coming off. And, oh, let me grab the salt and throw it in there with the ISO and go in with that. So I've been on both sides. I totally get not doing it at times, but it's definitely better just to do it all the time so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I think trying to use too many pieces is where I get behind, or because I don't clean my piece at the end of the session. I'm not like, all right, good night, and then I go right to the sink and start cleaning it. I'm going to sleep. Like, I do it later, like right before the sesh or like earlier in the day if I got a moment and just need to do something. So it's like,
right. It totally makes sense. You got to squeeze it in when you can, right? It can't be your whole day just cleaning bongs.
Oh yeah. So it's like if I use that piece that day, I'm gonna clean it and bada boom. But if I use another piece and I didn't clean it yet, like that's where it could get into the fall behind. Like,
right.
I let it go. Sometimes on a stream I'll do like, let's swap or let's do this piece and that piece, and there's like 6, 7, 12 dirty pieces, whatever. And then I'm like, fuck, I don't want to clean all these tomorrow. So sometimes it takes like 4 or 5 days to clean them. I get a few here and there. I'm not just gonna try to wash them all at once. That's when you're
right. 100%. You just get tired of doing it. You're just like, oh, I don't care anymore. Like, just let it go. You know,
I'm rushing. Get me out of here. I want to clock out.
100%. That's got to be a big part of what you do. You know, I can't even imagine on like your birthday charity stream where you just kept on switching out your bong every, what was it, 5, you know, whatever, so many dollars. Yeah. And you were going crazy with it. I mean, you were 10 or 12 bongs deep at one point. If not,
I think that one's it was like 20. It was like close to 20, I think. The year before was more pieces, but like, yeah, around 20 is like, I don't want to clean bongs anymore, I think.
Holy moly, yeah.
I got to space those out. I can't do that every month or whatever like that. It's not that much work, but it's like, no, I got to, especially when it's the 30-inch bong, like, hang on, let me do this.
It's like gymnastics with that thing, you know? You got to look at the trajectory of where it's going before you start moving it. Otherwise, it can get, you know, dangerous pretty quickly, right?
No, it can. That's a
lot of glass.
Piece. Yeah, it's a lot of glass. Wait. So, do you have other ball vapes? You got the.
So I have
ceramic.
So I run this at my desk over here on my living room table. I have a B0.
That's station number 2.
100%. So, you know, while I'm watching
the toilet,
the TV,
I've got the freight train.
Yeah, the toilet's the freight train, you know, that one just a heavy hitter, so you got to keep that, you know, where it's important. No, but yeah, I just have 2 though. This is the B0 and this Aroma. Honestly, I really like how the B0 hits a little bit better than the Aroma. They say ceramic hits a little bit more like glass, where it's like a softer, more pillowy hit. It's kind of weird to explain when it comes down to it, but I've noticed that the B0 kind of has like a nicer throat feel, you know, throat hit, where it kind of replicates a bong hit a little bit better than what the Aroma does.
You're saying the ceramic is like a harsher feeling overall in your throat, or?
I would say it's softer.
The ceramic is softer than the B0.
Yeah, the ceramic's softer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the metal on the B0, it feels like it gives you more of the throat hit, but I kind of look for that when I'm going to hit a bong. You know, I want a milky bong hit. I kind of want to feel it on the back end a little bit. And when you don't get that feeling, especially when you're used to combusting, I'm not used to it as much anymore, but I do it a little bit. I feel like the B0 more closely replicates a regular bong hit in comparison to the Aroma, where it's a little bit, you know, less harsh on the throat.
No, I think that makes sense with the metal. Like maybe it needs to be hotter to heat up the air or something. Or
yeah,
this has got.
I think it's more efficient. You know, it's more efficient at transferring
the heat. Yeah.
Right, and then it's going to transfer it to those, you know, rubies way faster, and so you're going to have a more efficient hit altogether because it's basically transferring that heat a little bit better. Ceramic is a great insulator, and so it can transfer heat, but at the same time, it insulates it really well. So I feel like it loses that heat, and it takes a little bit longer to get to the same point.
Yeah. And I think the metal underneath, like where the balls are, like if there's more of it, like you're inhaling just heat and metal there, like just
Right.
more. I can't remember one of them that I used. I think maybe it was the Taroma 360. It had like a huge coil on it, like humongous coil, like the biggest one I've ever seen. But the hits were they just felt like that throat hit you're talking about, where I was getting so much heat, but I wasn't necessarily getting the vapor to. It wasn't like more vapor that was adding to it. I'm getting like a normal size hit, but I'm like, the heat is like, it's double. I don't know. I wasn't ready for it. So that is interesting.
And that one, I think the 360 has two types of heating, right? It's like induction and the other one, I can't remember
convection
exactly. Convection, yeah.
Convection and conduction. Right.
And so it's using both of those methods. So it definitely sounds like it would hit a little bit more rough, because of that.
Yeah, the bowl setup was kind of interesting, and I think the coil goes beyond where the pearls rest. So just a lot of heat on that one. It's kind of I'm just explaining. I don't even have it in front of me or anything, but
right. No, I was really interested when that came out, though, because it definitely combines two different types of heating elements for vaping within a pretty efficient package. So if you dialed it in, I'm sure it would be interesting to use it. But it takes a little bit more, work and maintenance and everything with that bowl style and all that. So I totally see why it's not the daily driver.
I have a few of them I've been meaning to test more just to try to get dialed in. Like I got the twist. I turned it on. I keep forgetting to use it, so I might hit that next. But that one's no balls, all metal, and it's like I feel that one's a lot of throat hit. Like I don't know. The air, it's not touching as well. It's touching. It's like a tight. It's like a big old tight. Not tight, but big old piece of metal in the middle with like very little space for the air to travel through. It's like just enough air. So I guess the air holes are somewhat tight. But I don't know. I think the pearls do some magic. So we'll see.
They do. And, I've found that these pearls, they're all manufactured extremely differently. They're all lab-grown rubies, right? And so some labs are growing them differently. And I've seen a few people that had, like, cracked rubies and stuff like that when operating at normal temperatures, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, how do you know everything? These little pieces you're getting. How you know you're getting the thing you're getting? Like, I've gotten ruby pearls. They're different colors, and I'm like, yeah, but like, how? And you just said lab grown rubies. Like, I don't, because how you grow it in a lab? What are you doing? Is it a plant you water and it spits rubies out, or you like put some stuff together and it just like.
Right. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, to be honest with you. I'm sure that's a crazy scientific process that would be insane to dive into.
That's like a 90-minute YouTube video before I can partway understand it.
100%. You got to get some engineer to give you a deep dive on how all that's done.
Yeah. What you dabbing with? Or what were you going to say?
I was going to say, that terp hammer you have, I think it's really interesting because you separate it from the coil when you're actually using it, it gives you a more regular heat curve where things are allowed to actually cool down. And that improves the hit because it's not constantly blasting it at a certain temperature. And I feel like it gives you like a more well-rounded hit. Like you can get to the end of it without burning it. And that's huge.
No, that's a good way to put it because the heat curve is on like a lot of hits when you're doing a cold start. You get that ramp of a hit up front and then it's cooling over time like a dab does. And I think with the flower vapor, I usually try to pull harder in the beginning to get more of that heat, to get the flower warmed up and started to vape. But once it's vaping, once it's warmed up, I don't need as much heat to milk it per se. So I think that the lack of coil. At first, I was like, no, it's not going to have as much heat. It's not going to do the job. But I'm like, no, it's doing the job, and it's doing the job, and nice. Right? It's doing a good job. Like
it's wireless. You know what I mean? Like, look, hands free. It's the next step in the evolution, I think, where these corded vapes they're really nice. But at the same time, you're not going to have that heat drop off in that same way, and there's no way to really replicate that with how these cheap PIDs are set up.
No.
But you said dabs, and I forgot to grab my water hash. Let me grab that real fast.
There you go. Talked about cheap PIDs over here, chat. I have I guess several different controllers. I've never bought the PID controllers. Like, I never believe in the temperature number because they're all different. Like, depending on what coil they're using, like some of them you'll set to 710, but it's 450 degrees on another brand, but they're the same temperature. So people are like, I got an E-nail. What do I set it to? And I'm like, good luck. Set it to a bunch of temperatures. You'll find out the right one. Is that some all greens there?
So this is some water hash that I got from a buddy. It's some 7-Up.
Some buddy hash.
Yeah, some buddy hash. You can't really get a good amount of water hash on the regular market without spending an arm and a leg. So yeah, I had to go that route, but it's a trusted source, and it tastes great. So
no, that's what's up. And does he make like a lot of it, or just does mostly small batch? Some people have big grows out there, personal grows, home grows.
Yeah, so he helps out multiple people. He's been washing, hash, exclusively water hash, for the better part of 10 years here in Colorado.
Wow.
And so he's worked at a lot of different places, up and down, as far as, down in Pueblo and then Colorado Springs a little bit. And then he came up to Denver, and then I met him over at 710. And that's his main gig, though. He presses in and does the water hash for 710 right now. So he's on a water hash team over there, doing that as the day job. And so when he gets off, he has some friends who also, have their own grows, and they need people to wash. And so he comes through and then helps relocate it to homies who need it. So I'm always super thankful when I get the text,
That's super common too. Dudes that just grow all day at their job and then go home and grow too, or do the same thing, like washing all day at work and then going home to wash my plants now that I'm warmed up.
Right, 100%. And one is to make money and one is for passion. So, you really see that quality come through. And that's what I kind of realized when I worked in the industry here, is that your real quality is going to come from these small boutique grows that somebody's doing for themselves and they just have extra. And with the Colorado licensing around here, on recreational and medical, it allows you to grow so many plants, and then you can, basically allocate those to the market legally.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. Some people got up to like 99 plants, I think is maybe the max for an extended plant count with a medical card. That's what it used to be, but some people would they'd have 99 plants they could grow at their house. It's crazy to think about, but if you're processing a lot of it, you're not trying to smoke it all. Nobody's smoking that much. But if you're making it into topicals, edibles, different kinds of things, you kind of need a lot of it.
100%. And the more you get out of your harvest, it's just more effective overall. You can stretch it out across multiple things.
Hell yeah. E-nail.
Yeah, I got an E-nail hooked up to the same PID that's running the the Seroma. Excuse me.
I got him. No, that's why ball vapes are cool. You can swap the coil out, do dabs with it. There's E-nail setups. That's the Dab Ready, the Terp Hammer. That's basically an E-nail coil, but it's a little shelf you can rest a banger on, or you can rest the hammer on. E-nails are dope. The technology's nice.
It is, and it's way more convenient for me because although I can use a torch and do a cold start, I much prefer using something that can dial in a specific temperature that I feel like is pretty good for what type of concentrate I'm using, and then actually efficiently use it. Whereas the torch method, I feel like, you get that cool down curve, which makes you have like a little bit more of the terp flavors that everything comes through. But at the same time, without a terp ready or, some type of actual sensor, I find it extremely hard to hit it at the right temperatures. And I end up burning up a lot of my stuff.
Damn. Yeah, I think with cold starts, it's like, it's one of those things you got to practice. I usually underdo it because I don't want to overdo it if I mess up, And I use devices so much. I'm like, I gotta make sure I know how to cold start. So I was hitting some the other day, but it is one of those things. You still can mess it up, like. And you're using a blowtorch.
And I was messing it up hardcore. A lot because I was using an undersized torch like this. That's just absolutely ridiculously small. The lighter on this doesn't even work anymore. You gotta do the good old light it with a lighter.
The buddy system. Deal.
Yeah, exactly. It needs a little bit of help from the lighter, bro.
Oh, damn. No, that's crazy. That's one of the reasons I hated so many torches, where like that part went out and it just wouldn't strike, it wouldn't light. And you're like, no, I gotta get a new torch. You should do all of this. Like, I don't need the Bic to get it going.
Right. And I feel the same way, but at the same time, I feel like it's so wasteful. These things are designed to break after so long. They're only $8 or $9, to begin with. So you can't even imagine how cheaply this was produced, right? Somebody's got to be making money on importing it. Somebody's got to make money on it, selling it at the head shop. So you got to think of how many heads were in between this being made and actually getting here. It's crazy. This has got to be insanely cheap. It's just, I hate throwing stuff away like that.
Yeah. I mean, I've had my Blazer torch, the same one, since like 2016. Still works. It's blazing. So some of them last, but yeah, the cheap torches are 3 months, 4 months, maybe. Maybe. I mean, it'll still do something, but it won't do everything.
Right. And they have those exact like clones of the big Blazer, right? That are just like super cheap. I've seen so many people come through like on the Discord, and they'll be heating something up and they have to light their like clone big Blazer because the lighter's out, Damn. And so it's just like, oh man, that's rough.
The Blazer is made in Japan. That's the big difference. Like, everything else is made in China to look like the one from Japan. Right. Because I saw a fake Blazer that had like the double barrel torch on it, and it's like, it's cool, but like, the big shot is big enough. You don't need the double. Like, that's pumping the butane out.
For sure, and I've seen some setups that have like multiple, like 6 or 7 heads in there, to compensate for not just having one that can blast it or a few that can do it. So it's pretty wild to see, the variety that's out there.
Yeah, little triple torches. Like, I don't just make one bigger flame. Maybe you spread it out more. I don't know. They should make a banger torch where it literally like hits it from the sides and the bottom, and you could just spin it around. Like, where's that one at? Like, if we're doing stuff, let's do the right one. Let's get the hit it from 3 angles here.
I think we can figure out this, this torch. Definitely. There's a market for it. There's got to be something out there. It's like you can get a 25 to 30 millimeter thing, so you can just fit about anything and just blast it with some, burners. I got this one with the movable one, but that I've seen like the ones you can kind of bend and stuff. The lighters, like you adjust the angles, set it up. That would be pretty cool. I like this idea. That would be pretty sick.
$1 trillion. Write it down.
Heck yeah. If anybody makes this off the podcast, you're legally liable to, pay
Send me one.
royalties. So, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
pay
send
royalties.
us
No,
both
yours.
ones.
Wait,
Yeah.
yours I get paid. I'll buy one. No, royalties. It's $1 trillion
There you go.
idea.
No,
I'm
and
like,
you got to get a trial version, at least the beta or something.
send me a couple. Like, what do we got? Send me a few.
Right,
Do some
right.
giveaways. We'll win this swivel torch. We'll come up with a name now, so we knew it was us.
Okay.
Spyro.
Dang. Spyro. That's a pretty good one.
That's taken.
I really want to call it some type of blazer or like, some type of play on that. But, I feel like anything would be definitely copyright infringement.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know. There'll be a cool name. We'll figure it out. It'll
For
come
sure,
out.
for
It'll
sure.
come out naturally.
Absolutely.
The fire
Through
dancer.
development. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
I don't know. Like, we'll see. Because it's. All right, how does it swivel though? Like, all right, never mind. We don't got to design the torch now. They'll come up with it.
I was thinking like a camp stove type of setup. Have you,
Shit.
you know what I'm talking about? Where the claws come out a little bit, and then you can route it. And you can do it like that because that would be adjustable. It would have built-in baffles to keep people from blasting themselves.
We'll duct tape that to a Lazy Susan prototype.
Whoa, okay. Now
We're almost there. We're halfway there. We'll take it to Shark Tank and get $1 trillion.
Right.
Look, guys, this isn't much, but it's a lot.
Blazing Buddy or something like that.
There you go.
Be definitely something.
So you were talking about trimming when you were trimming some stuff earlier. I had a question that just popped back into my head. Like, were you ever working on something, like not anything bad or moldy or whatever, like working on something good, where you were like, damn, I gotta find out where this is about to end up. I gotta get some of this. Like, what we got here? Like, did you ever go extra hard on one in case you were gonna go pick it up at the store later? Like, what's up?
Absolutely. I first started and they had some what's it called? Like some OG strain. And it was amazing. Marshmallow OG. And I trimmed it, and the smell, the cure, the color, the development of it, everything about it was absolutely fire. And, most people thought, yeah, this is good, but they weren't that impressed. But it was the first time that I saw something that fresh here in Colorado that was just out of this world, when you looked at it, the entire development of it, it just was right. And so I waited, I think, a month and a half for it to actually get out on the shelves before I was able to buy it. But I definitely did. And it was the most expensive eighth or quarter that I've ever bought in my entire life. I think it was like $140 after tax, and it just absolutely insane. But it was so fire. When I tell you,
$20 a gram at the store. Hang on. Wait, run it back. Wait, he paid 20 a G. No, bro. You know the memes where it's like, I charge this guy 20 a G. Like, you're that guy, bro. Like, they got you.
Yeah,
you trimmed it too. Look, dang.
Right.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean, and that was after a discount too. And so it was just insane.
No, run it back. No, just because I'm curious. No. What's the 7 G's was before tax? What's the, because it's like 30%, 25%, something crazy, 22% tax.
Right. I mean, I think it's up in the upper 30s, if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty high. So when you're talking just straight recreational.
Yeah, because the rec store, they charge a lot.
Because you have the Denver tax and then you have state tax, so they build up on top of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the most expensive quarter you've seen as well, or just about purchase for yourself? Have you seen anything more where you're like, I'm not getting that?
I don't think I've seen something that it was more, honestly. I think they're at the top of the list as far as like most expensive in the market, and this is some 710 flowers. So, just it's,
People have heard of it.
yeah, it's
They know.
definitely out there.
So was it worth it? Were you like, this is the best flower? I'm glad I got this one.
So for me, I thought it was some of the best flour I've ever tried, personally. It really changed the way I perceived smoking flour, especially when using the ball vapes like the B0 and the Seroma. It really changed up the game where the flavor was on point. It absolutely knocked me out. Even the ABV made fire edibles, and it was just insane.
What made fire edibles?
The already been vaped weed.
The alcohol by
ABV.
volume?
I know other people have different names for it. That's what I call it. Already been vaped.
No. That's nuts. No, it's already vaped bud. Hang on. No.
Already vaped bud, AVB.
Yeah, that's not already being used for alcohol by volume, like the other one you're trying to say.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. So the one's allocated
bud.
just for one.
Yeah. And it says bud in the acronym, letting you know, because already been vaped. Could have been some lavender. Could have been some maybe vape tobacco. We don't know. People do that, right?
Oh God, vape tobacco. What are we talking about?
I was trying to be funny. Now I regret it. I'm embarrassed. I take it back. No, I don't want to go down as the guy that suggested that. Somebody's gonna try it. Don't do it. Like,
oh man, that sounds absolutely awful.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do the dirt pickle.
Dirt pickle life is not for anybody.
Not at all. Not at all.
Don't do dirt pickles. That's a good forehead tattoo.
Yeah, that would definitely be a one way to go about it, for sure. Another way would just be to, not to do them.
Nah, yeah, but like, what else do you put on your forehead? The shape of an L? Because I'm not trying.
That's what I normally rock, dude. It works for me.
Oh, they don't stop coming, like.
Yeah, dude, but they keep on coming, so you gotta hit the ground running.
So how many more of these $1 trillion eights did you get? Quarters.
So after that, I got one for way cheaper. Probably like maybe a quarter of the price, and it was not good. It was not anything like the other one. I didn't even have a chance to really trim that batch. It was processing before I came, and so I picked it up to try, and it was just not there. It was absolutely some straight up mids.
Well, it was cheaper. That's probably why. They got a lot of returns on it. Like, all right, we got a discount. We got to take the price off.
100%. And you end up seeing that. The good stuff, it sells that at full price. And then the cheaper stuff, it really goes way faster. But at the same time, it's just the price is reduced because they're just trying to get it out of there. Yeah. It ends up being kind of like a competition of, what batch is better than this one. And, it varies so much from, month to month, even where it's like, unless you have some intimate knowledge of a grow around here on the recreational market, it's extremely hard to find some well-grown stuff without, paying an arm and a leg.
That's the way to do it. Arm and a leg stuff. Have you seen the crazy? I guess maybe if you're seeing the quarters like that, what other kind of crazy like super pre-rolls have you seen? Those $200-$300 pre-rolled cigars, or you seen any of those?
I haven't seen any of those pre-roll cigars really. I've seen, $300-$400 ounces, but I haven't seen anything that's really, as far as like insane as far as pre-rolls. Things seem to be kind of, at least on the recreation market, extremely subdued in that way, because they can't put enough, or I think there's got to be some type of limit, because the pre-rolls here are just really the garbage that they can't, put
bottom
into a
of
jar.
the barrel.
100%. It's the small buds that they can't sell. So, you got to put them somewhere. So let's grind them up and put them into some pre-rolls. And I think the name of the game out here is, more of them and, just smaller amounts. But not to say that there isn't that out here. There absolutely probably is. I just haven't seen it at the places that I normally go to.
Yeah, I guess some like boutique stuff like that. Yo, what?
I was gonna say, I saw Dr. J Blazer in the chat say if I've ever tried Ghost Train Haze. They actually suggested that strain to me when I first moved to Denver, grown by the House of Dankness. And they won an award for that strain. And when I picked it up, my stuff was 9 months old and it crumbled into dust and basically evaporated in front of me. And it came in a cat food can, packed with nitrogen. So it was just a very strange experience, and it continued to be on par every time I went back. I think I went back a few times being like, this has to get better somehow. And it didn't.
Was it always 9 months old in the nitrogen can? Like, I never.
We got one that was a year old. We got one that was 6 months old. We had one that was, I think, 2 months old, and that was probably one of the best ones. But, when you're getting eighths from them, they do all of these, like, basically cat food cans that are full of bud. It's the strangest thing, opening a can and then being like, oh, there's my flower.
Like, now I got to put it in something else. Thanks.
Yeah. 100%.
Every time.
I had a replaceable lid, but it's not sealing it airtight at all. So
that's for cat food, that lid. Like,
100%.
I'm going to use the other half tomorrow. Let me put it in the fridge. Like,
right.
I mean, weed, if it's an eighth, you could probably use the other half tomorrow. But for some people, an eighth 100%. Is a whole week. Who knows? Right.
And so it's kind of interesting. I think the marketing's for somebody like Mr. It's missing people.
I'm trying to. I don't know if I've got weed in a can like that. I've opened it, and I think, and there's been. What? Have I got cans like that? I don't know. I can't think of anything specific. I've always seen it and known about it, but that is a weird way to serve up the weed. Some places have just their own. They're like, no, we're going to do this. And please stop. Just do what the other people do. No. Trust me.
Right. And I mean, they had other like plastic containers when you got bigger amounts of bud of the same stuff. But, it's a little different when it comes in a bag. versus, coming in an actual jar that's kind of sealed. Really kind of changes the entire feel, especially out here where humidity is such a major issue. Where
What
if
humidity?
you leave your butt out, yeah, the lack thereof. Exactly.
Wait, you got humidity since I left? They got a humidity in Colorado or no? It's
No
zero.
humidity, 0%. It's you're having to add humidity wherever you can.
Yeah.
And so you can buy stuff out here all day that's just gonna you touch it and it just crumbles.
Yeah, it's like chap lip city for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Shit's crazy.
You get used to it after a while, though. At the first, I was like having to have a humidifier, and do all that. Now it's like, okay, this is a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, there's no moisture in the air. There's no oxygen in the air.
Right.
And it's filled with weed smoke. Like, Colorado's pretty nice. Like, no, it's pretty nice.
I mean, it's not the worst place I've ever lived. It's really nice after being in, North Carolina for over 10 years and coming here. It's like, a breath of fresh air to be able to just go and pick stuff up on the legal market and just explore and actually learn about different types of bud and how it's produced, as well as, how you consume it. Because, it really comes down to, I don't even know what I was going with that.
No, I like it. Because we get high here. And sometimes when you get high, you're just talking. They come back to me sometimes, but when they don't, it's like, dang. Luckily, I can. Hey, Chad, what was I saying? No. Spin bars. What was the last one? Look.
Right. No, sometimes it happens. I derailed there for a second.
I try to add too much context in the beginning so you understand what I'm saying. And then I'm like, I don't give you the thing I was trying to say, just the context. Anyway, so there were two guys and Superman was there. And then there was a fire truck. What was I saying? Like, you just have the setup and I can't remember. Oh yeah, we all got donut coupons.
Hell yeah. Donut coupons.
Sipping before you're ripping?
Absolutely. Gonna go ahead and hit another ball vape hit.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Chad, was he sipping out of one of those $200 Stanley cups?
Oh, hell no.
Not the hockey one.
The Clean Canteen.
There
I've been
go.
rocking these Clean Canteens for over 10 years as well. Those things are super solid.
What makes it so clean?
They use a grade of stainless steel that they use in, production kitchens and everything like that. So it's extremely durable and easy to clean. So Clean Canteen.
I like it, dude. Oh, that's the way to do it. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Chat, you got to make sure you have water. It's like crucial to the sesh. Not only do you need it to make the bubbles in your bong go blub, 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 but you need it to make sure you're hydrated. And when you take those rips, they're not traveling through a desert in your throat and voice box. The smoke or the vapor travels through an oasis of a hydrated human being. It's really nice.
Ooh. Gotta love that hydration. Definitely helps.
And your pay's not as yellow.
Yeah, no, that helps too.
That's
Water's a key, and a good source of water is really important too. I know some people who just drink water out the tap, and I'm just like, it's good to drink water, but out the tap, filter it or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm judgmental personally.
Brita, or I don't know, filter brand. I was about to start firing some off, but I don't know any.
I mean, I use the pure one, but that one is like PUR, but that one
Mm.
apparently is not as good as other
Mm.
ones. That
Uh-oh.
zero water
The water
filter
sucks.
apparently is like the best because it leaves zero total particulates in the water. And when you get down to water filtration, you want to be able to get everything out, including the particulates, because that's what you're filtering. Of course, that higher level of effectiveness also comes with a slower filter time, and it gets slower as it goes. But I guess that's what you get for getting good water.
No, that is. I usually get like jugs delivered, and use a cooler, or I fill them up sometimes. I don't know. The big 5 gallon jugs.
Right.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's like a nice easy way to do it, but there's probably better ways. I don't know. Filtering your
Yeah, I mean,
own. I don't know if some of the stuff goes through reverse osmosis that you get, but that's hard to do at home, I think.
right. I mean, you can go to, Whole Foods or any one of those health food stores, and they have these dispensers where you can actually get reverse osmosis water, alkaline water, and all that good stuff. Some people argue the efficacy of alkaline water. I even don't even mess with that, but reverse osmosis water, even though it strips it of everything, at least hey, it's good. But
Well, I think spring water is the best. I think at the end of the day, because even when you're getting RO water, you want it to have like minerals added back to it or something. Like,
absolutely,
I don't know, water's crazy.
It is, but it really affects everything you do, on a day-to-day basis, because the stuff that comes out of the main city supply normally isn't the best. And as I've found out here in Colorado, we're getting all of our water from reservoirs that come from snow melt. So it's kind of like, oh man. And then people end up going swimming in these reservoirs, and they die and they don't get found. And so we're drinking some dead body juice water. Yeah, we're drinking people. I mean, they're filtering it, don't get me wrong, but I think about this too much, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. No, I when I lived in Colorado Springs, they'd send out warnings every now and then. They'd be like, "Don't drink the water for right now. We spilled some. I don't even know, like
what?
No way. I'm trying to. It was like it was some kind of like fire retardant for like oil fires or airplanes or something. I don't know. It was some kind of leak in the water, and they were like, boil the water. I was always getting it from other places after that. That's what got me onto not filtering my own water anymore. I'm like, is my filter gonna get whatever they're telling me to get? Like, I don't know.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. I mean, I try to filter what I can, but at the same time, I've you're probably right. It's probably better just to get sourced water, and I do that too. I actually carbonate my own water here in a kegerator with a Cornelius keg, and whereas they call them a corny keg, and I just throw it in there, and basically 5 gallons of reverse osmosis water, and I pump a ton of carbonation into it at a certain psi, and let it sit for 2 days, and bada bing, bada boom, you got some seltzer.
Huh.
Yeah. It's kind of sick, and you don't have to worry about all the cans and bottles and where the water's coming from for all that stuff, and you still get the bubbly stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, that sounds crazy. I never heard about sparkling it yourself.
Yeah, no, it's huge. You never heard of the Soda Streams and stuff? It's kind of like a smaller version of that. That's a little bit
I've heard of them, I guess. I just don't drink soda, so I don't know. I never really looked at one. I'm like, oh, that's a thing. Probably
Right.
it's weird.
Yeah, I try to stay away from soda, but at the same time, I'm guilty of drinking it from occasion. So, or on occasions, which is
Yeah.
terrible. So I've resulted in making my own uh, seltzers so that I'm just not having to drink soda. It's like way better because you get the bubbles without the actual syrup and additives that give you cancer and all that good stuff. So
Huh. Yeah, I guess I get my bubbles in when I'm drinking alcohol or something. That's when I get the bubbles. But other than that, it's like water. Even coffee, sometimes I can take it or leave it. But when I take it,
right.
I get more stuff done, I think.
Oh heck yeah. Well, that's a good way of doing it, honestly.
Hell yeah. So, you been playing any dope games lately? What's up?
Lately I've picked up a few different games. I've been playing Hard Space Shipbreaker. Have you heard of that one?
What's it called?
Hard Space Shipbreaker. You basically cut apart ships
No,
and
you cut apart ships?
yeah, like spaceships. You're out there like in space in a spacesuit and you have a cutter and you basically just cut these cut points on these ships and you put some parts in a processor, you put other parts in a furnace, and you put the advanced parts in this like barge. And you do that to varying degrees of danger. And it's kind of cool. It's like a story of this, guy working for this soulless corporation that basically murders you when you first start in order to make your clone. And then
Wow.
from there, if you die on the job, they just reclone you and then charge you for it.
No, that's the way to do it.
That's how to make a good worker. You're never gonna lose them. You're gonna keep them in debt and keep them working. So
Unless all your clones suck, you just suck at whatever you're doing, and no matter how many times they clone you, you just can't do it. Like,
right, if that's the case, they'll probably fire you and inject you into space or something like Lethal Company.
or there you go.
Yeah, Lethal Company has been a lot of fun. That's actually been one of the funnest games that we've been playing together. It's been really really cool because it's kind of like an entire different dynamics because you have to work together in order to be effective. And
You
if
do?
you don't do that, I mean, as you guys, I mean, see, if you don't work together, everybody dies.
Wait.
Everybody's like, "What's happening?"
You're telling me you can have success in that game?
I think so. I mean, I've seen us do it. Definitely.
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's
100%.
supposed to. How quick can all of you die?
No way. There's definitely, it just comes down to the level of coordination. If everybody gets coordinated, and says, "Hey, let's work off a buddy system or something like that," maybe it would work out pretty well.
Yeah, what's the button to work together? I might have to check my key bindings.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But, that's been a really really fun game too. And then I recently picked up Cyberpunk, and that's been a very interesting game to say the least. I think they've really fixed it up and they've made it what they promised it was. But it's definitely an interesting game overall.
I don't like the way you said interesting there. Like, I'm not racing to play it. It's interesting.
I think it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it just it feels different, but I think it's because I'm so used to the Grand Theft Auto, 5 type feel that it just. I mean, it's just different. And so I think comparing it's not really fair. They're two very, very different games. But at the same time, I feel like I want it to be Grand Theft Auto, but in a future cyberpunk universe.
That's what I wanted with the Harry Potter game. Like, let me just go do stuff. Like, I want to rob some wizards. Let me rob them. Let me just duel people out in the wild. What up, punk?
Well, yeah, you could have learned all those evil spells, but you intentionally didn't. You wanted to be a good wizard.
I learned some of them. Bro, Cornelius Blue Dream was a good guy. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah, you intentionally avoided those, I think. But
look, I didn't want to hurt people. I wanted to outskill them as a wizard.
Okay.
I'm trying to be the minister of magic, you know? They got me on stream. I can't just be Avada Kedavraing people.
I mean, you could have been, though. You know, you could have gone that route. But, yeah, I guess it's not for you.
Yeah, that'll be Barnelius Green Crack, his cousin.
Oh, yeah, the guy on the green crack, absolutely. Just going in on it, absolutely. I know when I'm on green crack, that's how I feel.
It'll be a Slytherin and everything. Just play the whole game. Just do it.
That would be really good.
You get any fat edibles? You got some edible options out there. You might have to go to the med store to get the fat ones, but you get any edibles?
Yeah, for sure. Recently I haven't gotten any, but I guess a little bit ago I picked up some of those wild gummies, which are pretty good. They're on the recreational and medical side, which is kind of cool. And then robots is still a favorite. You know, they have rosin gummies now that hit super hard, and they're just literally 10 out of 10. There's been some places where I've gotten brownies, cookies, cupcakes, you name it, as far as baked goods, and that stuff just knocks it out of the park. You know, it's 100 or 200 milligrams a piece. And you know, normally that's good enough for me. And I'm pretty regular on the edibles.
Yeah. You see any crazy high doses, like anything over 1,000 milligrams? It's not super common.
No, I don't think I have seen anything that's been super insane as far as the milligrams go. I think really like 200 is like the main limit that I see at most of these, dispensaries as far as like what they have on the edible side. And that's on medical, because on the recreational side, it's even more strict. You know, it's down at the 10 milligram mark, and you go up to 100 max.
That's the annoying part, yeah.
Right.
Like, come on, this doesn't do it for me. I need a little... Hang on, like, I need a little bit more.
Well, that's when you end up buying like a bunch of these things. You know, I used to buy those Keef Colas, and they would go on sale for like, $2.50 a pop. And I'm like, 100 milligrams
Literally.
for $2.50. Let's go. Let's grab a pop.
2.50 a pop.
Right.
You drinking a pop? Keef Cola.
Yeah, exactly. And those are pretty good. Some of them were better than others, like the the dark, very strong flavored things like the Coke and the cherry cola and the I think not the orange one. The orange one was bad because it doesn't mask it very well. Like
that is some the right flavors need to mask it. I used to get weirded out because there's some stuff where it's like chocolate and peppers, and you're like, why do they have this? And then you're like, I didn't taste any of the weed. I tasted the peppers, but I didn't taste the weed. Like, but it was chocolate and peppers. Like, I don't know. I had a feeling. I just had to try it, but they did something.
When I first moved here, I tried out Chiba Chews because I heard about them from long ago, and I got a
Gotta
discount
get a fresh one.
and it was the most terrible thing I've ever tried.
You gotta get a fresh one. Never buy the discount Chiba Chew.
My God.
Never buy the clearance Chiba Chew. Never buy it on sale. If they're doing 2 for 1 on only the Chiba Chews and nothing else, don't get them. Look, this is a warning. You're gonna break your teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on. Look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin it. No. Tell me. Look, I've learned this lesson. No. I'm so sorry.
No, 100%. Yeah, anybody listening, definitely do not get that stuff Chiba Chew on sale. It will break your teeth. You'll never get it out of the packaging. If you like gnawing on plastic or chipping it out and having it fly across the room and fly into your eyeball, if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're gonna get. But yeah, I after that I said never again. I never got even a fresh one of those. I ended up just getting everything else and kind of sticking to the gummies or the drinks. I really kind of messed with the baked goods too, but I feel like making your own baked goods when you have a ball vape is just way easier and more efficient because you just end up, going through so much that you can make an entire jar worth of infused oil without breaking the bank.
I almost do. No, I want to. Where's the time I might have to trick myself into doing it on stream or something one day. But like, I want to, but like, I just never do anything. I got jars and jars of AVB. Like, just throw it in the trash. Yeah. It's trash can filler. I don't know. Like, if I had a compost, I'd toss it in. But who has that? Like,
right?
Oh, jeez. What do they do with the coffee grounds or something? What do they do? I don't know if that goes in.
I think so, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's. I think I'm high.
I like it. So it's like, we get high here. We're not getting high. Where would you say you're at on like a 1 through 10 scale? I'm kind of curious. Like,
I'm at probably like a 6 right now.
Just a 6?
Yeah, maybe 7.5. Okay.
Chat, how high are you? If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're watching on Spotify, maybe there's a poll or something. I don't know. How high are you? Just a 6?
Yeah. 6.5? I'm gonna give it a 7.5. 7.5, I think. I think I need to take another dab. I'll pull out the good old rig here. I'll take another water hash dab. You tend to get me after 1 or 2.
I'm not saying 6 is low. It seemed like you were higher.
I think it's because I end up kind of thinking about other things while I'm talking, and then I forget what I'm ending up talking about, and then I'm like, oh wait, what was I even going to say before that? And then I lose it completely. So
no, that's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad with that. Even when I'm at 2 or 3, sometimes I'll just definitely get into that ADHD kind of moment and zone the hell on out.
I needed to change the subject for other reasons.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, we switched it up.
Hell yeah.
Well, dang, I got a bowl packed. Look, if you're watching, pack something, load something.
Heck yeah.
We're gonna rip something.
We're gonna rip it.
I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm probably like a 6. I'm probably like a 7, maybe. I'm probably like an 8. I'm probably like a...
Wait.
I'm like an 8.2. I'm probably like a 7.1069. Probably like a... I don't know.
You're not sure?
It's
Might need
hard.
to-
I always linger in the 7s because, like, bro, I'm not a 9 right now. Like, I'm close to that. Like, a 10. Wow, you barely touch a 10. Like,
Right.
10,
I feel like
I'm floating.
absolutely. I feel like a 10 is like you smoke some of the best stuff you've ever tried in your entire life, and you know, you might be a little twisted or something like that. You know, it's just like takes you to that next level.
Sometimes, hear me out, and this is for other people listening, that 10 out of 10 high, sometimes you don't know in the moment. You know later.
Right.
When you're like, I did what? Okay, I must have been lit. Like, when you hear about stuff you did, like, and you're like, nah, I was just chilling. Like, nah, bro, you did other stuff, and here's what you did. You hear about it. That's your 10s. You feel like you're a 6 sometimes. You're like, I'm just vibing, bro. I'm chilling. But you hear about some stuff later. You see some stuff, or things are different, or I don't know. I've been very high and reorganized shit or something, and I wake up later. I'm like, did I do that last night? Like,
Right. You have to kind of like retrace your steps. Like, what did high me do? Then you have to go back and, like, you know, go through it.
find yourself on the roof, hungover style.
Right. 100%.
Hell yeah. Wait, what's that rig you got?
So this is a little
Sick.
rental rig. You know, I do this bong rental service. And so this is one that I get absolutely filthy, and then I return and get a, you know,
It's a
brand
clean
new
bong service.
piece. Right.
At the end
So I
of the
don't
day.
have to do it. Exactly.
If you lived like 500 feet away or within walking distance, that would be like a cheat code to just like go in every day, hand them a dirty one, and be like, "Give me the clean one."
Right. And I luckily live super close, you know, less than a 5-minute drive, so it definitely makes it so that it's super convenient. Yeah, it's like one of the best things. I think I got it when I came here like 3 years ago now, and I've just never canceled the service. I drop off a bong all the time. I know the dude really well, and you know, the shrooms are legal here, so like they do that kind of stuff. It's insane.
So it's all membership, it's just renting, and do they head shop out some stuff? Like, what's the membership? What's the going rate on the rentals?
It's $25 a month, you know, without insurance, $30 with insurance, so that if you break anything, you don't have to worry about it. You just, you know, bring it back and tell them, and you know,
You probably got like a hidden 3-strike rule on that or something. Like
100%. He said if you're doing it excessively, he'll just be like, "Yeah, I don't think this is working
I'm gonna
out."
cancel your membership.
100%. That's what he ends up having to do. You
The
know,
bong breaker.
talking some people down.
That's an insane service because, like, as long as you
Right.
keep enough glass on hand and you have enough members, like, the numbers can work out. Some people are swapping every day. Some people aren't. And
Right.
they're just happy to have something.
100%. And, you know, I think it's really cool because I'm so close. So I normally either, you know, bring it. I have like a case that I bring, you know, so that I don't have to like waste a bag and bubble wrap and all that stuff.
There you go.
And so, you know, just throw it in this like padded case that I have so that, you know, I can just grab something and go. Make it like less than a 5-minute ordeal.
Dang. And is he selling like papers and like small stuff out of there too?
Yeah, definitely. He's got like papers and all that stuff. He does the entire like kratom deal.
Dang.
Where he's got all that type of stuff. So
Who knows?
it's pretty
Let's
insane.
go.
You know, he definitely is. He knows his market.
Yeah, some of those stores are very specific to just who lives there. Like people come in like some of them you could pay your bills at. Like you need to pay your water bill, you could do that here. Like I've seen some crazy stores. We do payday loans. We got bongs for sale. Like hey, hang on, you're doing too much. But like, nah, hang on, you could do all that. Stacking paper. It's like quick money.
And I've seen. And I've 100% seen, I was, I used to troll gov deals a lot where, the government's selling stuff and they sell it on this auction website called Gov Deals. And you can just go there and buy stuff directly from all of these public government entities that you would otherwise wouldn't have access to. And you can get stuff for really super cheap. But I noticed that the Colorado Springs utility takes collateral to pay their bills. So you end up seeing people's cars and all kinds of crazy stuff from the Colorado Springs utility company. And it's just like, it's insane.
That is crazy. I think I've looked on there before and just seen some wild stuff just because I was curious. And it's like, somebody's got to get it.
Yeah, that'd be a fun stream, just going through that and checking out, what's around.
Yeah, I should write that down.
100%.
What's the website again?
Gov Deals. Yeah, you definitely gotta check it out.
Easy. Yeah, I wrote that one down. I like that idea. What if I can hotbox a government Jurassic Park Jeep or something? Like, I don't know.
Heck yeah. I've gotten insane things on there, like from I'm not sure where it came from, but I think like one came from the Denver International Airport. I got a bike from Google, like the Google campuses. They have a bike that has like a yellow frame, green and blue wheels. And, it's very strange. It's extremely weird. It's a Google bike. And they were selling it on there. And I'm like, well, this is the only chance I have to legally own a Google bike.
Yeah. Nah, that's cool. Wait, so you got it? How's it?
Yeah.
How's it
I think
riding?
it was like, it's pretty good. I haven't rode it in a good minute because it doesn't have any gears. And it's hilly around here. So, after you pump it up a few hills, that thing is heavy as heck.
Yeah.
It's made to go on a very flat, even surface, like a Google campus.
Yeah.
Not gearing up and going up mountains because I used to, stream while biking on it. And oh my God, I'd be huffing and puffing and
that's crazy.
It was a process because it was just so heavy and just one single gear. So you're just pumping everything you got into what it, that ratio that it comes with.
It's not fixed gear, right?
No. Technically it would be fixed gear because it doesn't change.
Yeah.
It doesn't go
Doesn't
up
that mean you can't pedal backwards though? Fixed gear or no? What does fixed gear mean?
Fixed gear means it's a single gear. I'm pretty sure.
Chat, pull that up. Does fixed gear? I thought it meant that you can't pedal backwards like a little kid bike. Like if you stop pedaling, the back wheel stops going.
Okay.
Can't go backwards.
Can't go backwards. Okay. Look at that. Jawbone knows.
Yeah, that kind of bike sounds crazy because like what?
Right.
That's like a little kid bike.
Yeah, the backwards on yeah, exactly. It's a little kid bike. The backwards on this one literally locks the brakes.
Yeah.
So you can do the back wheel brake with the going backwards, and then you have a single brake in the front for the front one.
Dang. I don't need to ride a bike. The last time I rode a two-wheel bike, I think I flipped over the handlebars. Like
no way.
Some got mixed up. I don't remember.
Were you streaming?
Nah, I wasn't streaming. That would have been my greatest clip of all time, but I was just like out for a leisure ride and fucking it was nighttime. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Like it was the handlebars were like spun around and like one of the brake cords got tangled up or something weird happened. Like, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I was shocked and confused. Like I think it was something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounded really, really not ideal.
I was high up. I flipped up anyway. Yeah,
no, that definitely sounds scary. I recently went snowmobiling for the first time up in Breckenridge, and that was wild. Yeah, out in Breck, dude. But it was really cool because you're on this giant thing that feels like a jet ski on the snow, but then at the same time, if you touch that front brake too hard, you're gonna go over the front very, very quickly. It will launch you. Dang. So like, I found it's just better not to touch the brakes at all. Slow down. All gas, Yeah,
there you go.
Even gassing it, just doing a little bit, just making sure that the engine can do the braking, way better than pressing the brake.
Yeah, there you go. Snowmobiling. That was the first time you done that?
Oh, yeah, Colorado? The first time ever. Yeah, we went up to like Mount Arkansas, where the Arkansas River starts at the Continental Divide. And we got to like see a sunset over there. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it was really nice, and it was basically like we rode up 2,500 feet during the entire like little expedition up the mountain. And then we rode back down, and it was really cool because we went through our own little path where every group kind of was going through their own thing. So it's kind of like we got to explore the mountain a little bit and, kind of let the throttle go, in certain parts where we were going like, 50, 60 miles an hour on those things, which is kind of crazy.
You feel safe because there's snow around, but then also that's dangerous because I can't see what's the snow's covering.
Right. Well, they do. They take a snowcat and drive over the main paths that we're all going on. So there's a level of safety for all of this. You don't have to necessarily, worry about it all.
You done any snowboarding or what other snow stuff?
No, I haven't done any snowboarding or skiing yet. I really want to, and then I'm gearing up to do some camping. I actually recently got a pretty good camping tent, and then a new like camping pad because my old one kind of blew out, and so like a sleeping pad. And I think I just need a few more things, and I'll be set to do some semi cold weather camping here in Colorado, which is going to be exciting.
Some REI shopping out there. Is that the store?
Yeah. I mean, REI is great, but it's expensive. I hate to say it, Dick's Sporting Goods ends up being one of the best, cheapest places to buy things. And then they have Dick's closeout stores here, which during the season changes, they just wholesale a whole bunch of things. And, I've gotten Carhartt pants and sweatpants for them for like $5 or $7 when they normally retail for like 50 or 60. It's pretty wild.
Yeah. No, Dick's is where it's at. They got some good stuff. They opened an REI down here, and I had to go in, and I'm like, what do you have in Florida? Like, just all bug spray? Like, they got those like stand-up paddle boards, and they had the big jackets and stuff you'd see for snow, but they had them out here, so I don't know. You get it before you go on vacation. Like, just buy here. You'll be good.
I mean, REI is really cool because, if you have a membership with them, they basically lifelong guarantee everything you buy. And so I've had a membership with them since like 2011. So
Dang.
I've gotten a few things and basically exchanged it for, something comparable over the years. And it's definitely paid off.
That's a good way to do it. You just keep that upgrade coming every few years. I like it.
Absolutely. It's a way to kind of like justify paying more, but at the same time you have to be willing to actually use the stuff you buy, instead of just using it once and having it sit.
Yeah. That's that happens with a lot of stuff. Like, well, that was fun. Never gonna do that again.
Right.
Never touching that thing. So what's up? Are we taking a bong rip, or what do you got going on?
Yeah, I've got
working
this dab ready and waiting.
Oh, yeah, run it.
7 Up, right?
Yeah, so let's get some 710s, some 420s in the chat, whatever we got. Let's all get high if you're watching along. You can get high too if you're watching later after the live version. Let's get high about it.
Oh, yeah.
I say we wrap this up after a rip and get into some dope games.
Heck yeah, no, that sounds great.
How's that? Woo. No, what a good way to do it. For those of you listening along who can't see what's happening, weed.
Yes, weed indeed. Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
That water hash will get you.
You want to let us know you got any content you're working on soon? You doing anything? Or
Well,
no worries if not, but
right now, I don't necessarily have specific plans, but I do want to get back into streaming in 2024. Twitch is coming out with a lot of new interesting features as far as encoding technologies that they're going to support, like AV1, which is pretty much what's standard on YouTube, and most phones have a hardware AV1 encoder. And so it basically would enable us to do mobile streaming and possibly more, streaming as far as supporting more resolutions and everything like that. And so I kind of want to experiment with these new technologies that Twitch is supporting, especially with multi-streaming, in order to try to see what's good and what's bad and try to improve it from there. So if anybody's interested in checking that kind of exploration out, please check out twitch.tv/Oozebrood. I'll go live this year for sure.
we'll hold them to it. Nice.
Yeah.
Some IRL or something. Who knows?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely look into what I'll do. I'll probably do IRL at first and just walk around I want to get back into metal detecting, but around here, the laws around actually metal detecting and digging are highly specific. And so it comes down to getting specific land permissions, and that's more difficult sometimes, especially because you're going to be bringing a camera and all that good stuff. So I'm basically trying to find alternatives. Maybe I'll do some geocaching and things like that, and kind of experiment, like I said, with the technology that's coming out, in order to see what's good for everybody and kind of get more modernized, because I've been out of the streaming game for over a year now, I believe.
Dang. Yeah, no, it happens. It's rough. I think streaming is one of those things. Like, it's good if it's a part of some content, but the ideas behind the streams are hard to keep going.
Absolutely, and especially without multi-platforming it, not putting all your eggs in one basket, and diversifying your content across multiple platforms like YouTube, where people can watch that stuff 24/7. If I just summarized my old streams and did, little recaps of what happened, I feel like, that would be definitely some good content to look back on. But, with how Twitch is, it's kind of ephemeral. So all those moments are lost in the wind,
Oh, dang. Well, appreciate having you on, and you just say bye to the chat. I think we'll stop the recording here, and maybe we'll hop on voice on whatever game Lethal Company, and we'll probably take a vote. But peace out.
Cool.
Thanks for the session with us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.